All right, welcome to another day of the course. This is the second half. Congrats on making it through the first half of the course, and here we're going to be going even deeper into how the mind works and exploring some deeper states of consciousness. We really want to understand how do the mind and brain create our realities. And in this guided meditation, we'll basically run a few experiments in our inner laboratories to see directly in our experience how the mind's creating reality, and then we'll talk in the lessons about how there's a modern unifying theory of how the brain works called predictive processing, and it's remarkably aligned with these ancient meditation maps that were developed over 2,500 years ago. So please make yourself comfortable with an upright spine. It helps to be upright if you can, with your knees a little below your hips. And that will just kind of release your hips and allow your spine to naturally be straight. And it's like there's a string pulling the top of your head upwards, straight upwards. And then the rest of your body is just kind of, all your muscles are relaxing downwards. And taking a minute to simply enjoy relaxing your body and mind. Smiling and happily enjoying the fact that there's nothing to do right now. Nowhere to go, nobody to be. And then kindling a positive emotion with a happy memory, the image of a cute animal or baby, or a friend. Whichever way brings up this happy, positive emotion for you easiest. And then allow this feeling to spread out throughout your body, pervading your field of awareness. And if your meta awareness, this observing part of the mind, goes offline, then simply use the 4 R's. Recognize the distraction. Recognize that the mind is no longer with the positive feeling. Release, like opening a clenched fist. And this also means you're releasing any tension in your body and in your head. And then the 3rd R is to relish, to enjoy the positive feeling. And then for this relish step, it helps to smile, to re-smile. If your smile is gone, your mind's become serious. And then the 4th R is to remain. Remain enjoying that positive feeling. Recognize, release, relish, remain. And this will happen many times throughout meditation. If you notice in just a few seconds, your mind might be gone thinking about this or that. And that's normal. And then just recognize, release, relish, remain. Continually opening back up the mind when it contracts around a thought, worry, a sensation. And over time, it will stay longer and longer with the feeling as you allow it to settle, as you release all the tension in your mind and body. It will stay all on its own. All right, and now that your mind is a little more stable, I'd like to guide you through a process of noticing how the mind works. I'm gonna make a noise and then just notice what happens in your mind. Wampum. Wigwam. Numjum. Okay, so that was the first experiment. And now let's do another one. I'll make a sound. Orange. Orange. Now what happened in your mind? Did an image flash up? And was there a good or bad feeling along with that image? And then any related thoughts? So you can notice how there was a cue and then the mind automatically started to make sense of it. And just the sound waves hitting your ears were quickly converted into a meaningful word and then maybe an associated feeling. And then thoughts about it or even wanting to go get one. Let's try a few more. These are a few more sounds or words, and just notice what happens. Soft. Wince. Needham. Oprah. Moist. Trump. Just sounds, but notice what the mind did with them. Notice the feelings, if there were any, the associations, the memories. I'll quote an ancient text from the Pali Canon, early Buddhist text called the Majjhima Nikaya, number 18. It says, quote, "Dependent on an ear and sounds, ear consciousness arises. The meeting of the three is contact. With contact as condition, there is feeling tone. What one feels, one perceives. What one perceives, one thinks about. What one thinks about, one proliferates about." End quote. So maybe you could notice that for yourself with these different words. How a word like moist was brought to your eardrum, those sounds, and that created a conscious experience. And then this in turn created a feeling tone. Maybe that word was unpleasant. And then you may have started to have a perception, like naming or picturing what moist means. And then from there you might have had thoughts about it, and then more thoughts into a thought story, and before you know it, you're thinking about something entirely different. And this is happening all day long. We're reacting to pleasant and unpleasant feeling tones at all of our different senses: the ears, the eyes, the nose, the tongue, and including mental objects or other thoughts and memories. And now, just noticing in silence, whenever the mind gets taken in by a thought or a sound or another sensation, and using the 4 R's to come back. You can also practice this with your eyes open for a challenge. So feel free to continue meditating. And if you'd like to end your session, then you can reflect back and think about what you learned about the mind. And as you carry into your day, anytime you recognize that the mind is starting to predict future worries, you might be able to recognize also where this came from, such as a sight or a sound or another thought like a memory, and then release, a relish in a positive state of mind, and remain. Thanks for taking the time to train your mind, and I'll see you over in the lesson where we'll talk about this process in the mind, how it builds our realities, and also some of the related science.